Restaurant SEO tactical tips for local businesses. Restaurant search engine optimization is very important because every time you look for a new restaurant or go to a place where restaurants are listed, you're going to find options, right? Either you're using it for yourself to find food to eat, or you have a business and your business has a restaurant attached to it. So if you have a business and you run a restaurant, either a chain of restaurants or you run one restaurant and you serve food, you serve amazing food, right? Whatever cuisine it is, you're going to have to list that into your setup when you create your listing online, whether you're using DoorDash or you're using Grubhub or using Uber Eats, anything that you're going to use or any other delivery service, you're going to have to create that within your ecosystem, right? That's restaurant SEO as well. Welcome, Wendy, and also glad to see you as well, Dr. Tonboon, and everyone else as well. Pablo, thanks for being here. When you have these specific platforms that have your website attached to it, that is what you call franchise SEO. Franchise SEO means that you're technically on a third-party platform that has access to a community, and there's already a base. It's already warm. It's already somewhere that is evergreen and it's active. So when you go to those platforms, you're using those platforms to create a connection. And it's not in the mode of social media, it's in the mode of branding. So it's not like Facebook, you're attaching your Facebook, that's off-page SEO, right? Connecting your Google business profile if you have a restaurant, that's important, connecting your website to these platforms where you have activity like TikTok, right? You want to have your website connected. If you have it on Instagram, you want to have your website connected because these website links are linking back to your Instagram, and also these pages on these social platforms are linking back to your website. So restaurant SEO tactical tips for local businesses is very important for your business to see traffic, see results, and also see feedback. Now, there's something I'm going to mention really quickly, and I'm going to talk about this sometime later, but this is going to be one tool that I will be pretty much talking about, and I may do a workshop on this, but I want to make sure that you also are aware of it, just so that when you're hearing me out and listening to this again or replaying this back, you can always go back to this specific part of the episode and listen to how you can also apply it for your business, for your ranking, and for your community. Now, I do this for clients, and I am able to do this and learn from them more than they learn from me, which is exciting because it's not just me, we're a team, and we're able to really understand the concept and help you demystify search, demystify equations, demystify traffic, demystify data. So these are the things that we're able to do to help your business grow for both SEO visibility and also for AI visibility. So even if you own a grocery store, a farm market, if you own a local store, a plaza, anything that's going to consist of someone having to drive there to come to you or order from your location, which is going to be your base of business, then that's going to be very important for you to think about restaurant SEO. So that's why I mentioned franchise, because these are platforms that you can use on third party, like NextDoor is franchise. So using these things is very important. Welcome, Mark. So when you have something like this that is very tactical, your goal is to make sure that your restaurant is seen. Now, I look at restaurant SEO like local SEO, just with a restaurant tag on it, right? So if it's local businesses and you have a local business, your local business is going to be ran, welcome Shay, Your local business is going to be ran within a local community. So if you think about where you are creating your content from, starting from the base, which is letting people know, hey, here's where we are, here's what we do, this is what we create, this is what we eat, this is what we have, this is what's on the menu. It's important. Imagine going to a restaurant because of something on the menu and then getting there and you can't eat what's on the menu. That's not going to be a good thing, right? So you want to have what's on the menu show up in the search results. So when you hear those sounds or when you feel those frequencies, those are the things that you don't want to hear all the time, because that is harmful to the ears if you do that consistently, because it's not going to have a certain wavelength or a certain frequency that's going to be beautiful or aesthetically pleasing or aesthetically visual or sonically connected to the experience that you actually want, right? So that sound is what you do not want. What you want to hear in your ear is something like this. And even better yet, this is something you actually want to hear. So from hearing those sounds to changing I call it the metronome. I can put it like that. Changing the frequency, changing the wavelength, changing the dynamic, changing the cadence, and you're able to allow people to find you better. This is where tactical tips comes into play for local businesses. So if you want to move away from hearing the sound of what you heard first to what you've heard last, to make that happen in between, what you heard in the middle sounds like an idea. You have to think about, I have an idea. How do I bring this idea to the forefront? So distribution is going to be the key factor here. It's going to be the key factor. Honestly speaking, I don't own a restaurant, but me speaking out loud, thinking out loud, if I was to own a restaurant, this is what I would do. If you do this too, we can do this for you, with you, by you, help you, make sure that you can see what this sounds like and what it could look like visually, because you have to see it in your mind before you can see it in your hand, right? That's an old saying, a famous saying, that you have to think about those things. You have to, see them happen before they actually happen, right? And that's where this comes in. So if you have a business, right, and you want to show up online, this is what I would do if I was to have a restaurant and build it. I would start a podcast. And I'll do audio and video. Video is going to be for recipes. It's going to be for tutorials. It's going to be for cooking tips. It's going to be for whatever it is, right? Tastes, samples is going to be nice. Testimonials, cookouts, whatever we can use it for miscellaneous B-roll activity, which will be supplementary to and also complementary to the overall brand and exposure of the business within the vertical. So I would have a restaurant, start a podcast, do the audio version, talk about things. How do we cook? Maybe bring our chefs, as an interview, talk about those things. I'm literally giving you ideas off the top. I didn't plan to say this, but this is what I'm feeling. And everything I talk about here is organic, so there's no script, as you know. So I will go in quickly, boom, talk about this, bring in the chefs, talk about their process, let people listen to those conversations. So that when you come to the restaurant the next time, you'll be like, I heard this chef, and okay, who's the chef on the menu? Or who cooked this? You may not know, but if that's what they do and that's how they go by, representing the food, it also allows you to connect. Just the same way you would read the reviews on Google, right? Going back to local business, you'd read the review on Google and say, this chef cooked this, and you see the name of the chef, and you keep seeing the name of the chef, or you keep seeing the name of the business, or you keep seeing the name of the food on the menu that people keep talking about. So you translate that same effect to your podcast and end up talking about those things that people love, right? How to prepare, or, what to find on the menu, or how to know what to eat, or how to plan your day, or how many restaurants do we have, or how many locations do we have? Do a frequently asked question, bring people on board, let people know about the history of the food, if it's a different type of food in a different type of city that people are not familiar with. And then if you have drinks on the side, bring those brands in, right? You're going to have food with something, right? With water, with juice, with wine, with something. So when you start bringing those things in, fresh juice, you start bringing the types of water brands, the type of things, what is it, alkaline water? What kind of pH is it? Those are things that you can talk about if you have to really go into integrate stuff, right? How do we cook? What oils do we use in our food? Do we use canola oil? Do we use coconut oil? Do we use vegetable oil? Do we use avocado oil? Do we use what type of oil, right? So those are the things that I would be talking about or bringing to a podcast that has a restaurant attached to it, because that way I'm building trust and I'm allowing people to discover things that they wouldn't find naturally if they were even to type it, because how would they even start that conversation or even start that search if they weren't told about it? So the idea of attracting somebody to you by them discovering you for what they're looking for is the beginning of that connection. So off-page SEO, franchise SEO, off-page, you're on social media, reviews, testimonials, portfolio sites. Franchise SEO, you're on different third-party platforms where you can be able to have those same extensions, but within brand names. So when you start doing that and you're on DoorDash, you're on Uber Eats, you're on Grubhub, people are going to find those things. They're going to search, is this restaurant here? Are you on OpenTable? If you're a restaurant that's going to be there, what are the things that you're going to be seeing? Because your website is going to be connected, right? When you submit these things, it's not just a link. These are backlinks. So if you ever think about submitting or saying, yeah, I'm on this platform, or we serve on this platform, or this is where we deliver from, you're technically saying that you are affiliated indirectly with a third-party property asset. In other words, another website is connected to your website that people can access your products from. So they will start off with the OpenTable that they know, the DoorDash that they know, and then they'll find you in the process because they're looking for a certain type of dish. So let's say you sell, wings, right? What type of wings? How are you going to put those wings in the SEO meta title? Are you going to call it just boneless wings, or are you going to call it something that people type when they know the kind of wings that you sell brand wise? Or are you going to have wings and you're going to talk about 4 pieces, 6 pieces? How are you going to put those things into place? So it plays a big role in the entirety of creating the experience of allowing people to learn more about how you're able to serve them dish-wise, and then you're able to create that experience as well otherwise. So it grows within the assets of allowing you to have a much better base. So this is something that you want to think about and ask yourself, okay, how would this be translated and where do you want to take this to the next level? So I would love to hear from you as well. Mark, Shay, Setu, Ziad, thank you for being here. I love questions. I love contributions. This is a free space to share as well. So welcome. Hey, Ziad, nice to meet you.
Hello, Flavor. I'm right now open business for myself about SEO and other service.
Where are you calling from?
Masar Gross Agency. You can check my LinkedIn.
Definitely would love to. Yes.
But also I'm running ads. Okay, I'm running ads for Meta and Google Ads, and I'm also media buying, not SEO manager and product manager for more experience, because one channel not only way to increase sales revenue, like SEO. So just one channel, I need other channels like email marketing, paid ads, something like that.
Yeah, there's definitely a pathway. Like you have to just create that. I know it's like different tools and different products, but if you're able to create your workflow, then you'll be able to know the right tools to use and know how to sequence them within different timelines and milestones.
Yeah. That also other channel like paid ads, fast growth, better than SEO. I need sales right now. If If make SEO, I don't gain anything in short term.
Yeah, SEO is long term. It's not short term. So if you want to make
Yeah,
sales with SEO, then that's if somebody promises you sales with SEO, that is a red flag. But if somebody tells you that they're going to promise you trust and credibility with SEO, then that's where the sales could now come in, because I can't trust you and I won't give you something that I sentimentally have connection with, that I would give you knowing that there's a risk involved. But if I know that there's trust involved, then there wouldn't be a friction to begin with. So if you talk about sales and ads, great, that's good, but that also requires market research and development. That's why businesses just run ads, because they want to see traffic. But if they don't see sales from the traffic that they got, then they now think that the ads are not working, yet the research was not done. So usually I always say SEO is based on trust first before sales. The sales come after the trust has been established. So just wanted to make sure that is clear as well. And hey, John, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that too. What do you think?
Hey guys, yeah, what's up? Merry Christmas. Restaurant SEO. Boy, that's a big one. I would say, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, Zayed. Are you trying to? Do you have a restaurant? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I don't have a restaurant. I have a own business, like agency.
Oh, okay. Well, are we talking about restaurants? Is that what I mean? Are we specifically talking about restaurants?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would say SEO is probably not the way to go if you have a restaurant. Yes, if anybody knows me, I love SEO. But if you have a restaurant, restaurants are one of those things where, I'm hungry now and I got to get food now, and restaurants got to get customers now, right? So what's the best way to do it? Well, you know what? The best way to do it is to look who's successful. And my colleague, Matt Plapp, Plapp, has a Facebook strategy. Okay, Matt Plapp, if you want to copy something, if you're in the restaurant industry or if you're trying to get restaurant clients, I would follow what's already successful. I would strongly not go down the SEO road. Yes, you could build SEO into the restaurant, but it all depends on the restaurant. Does that restaurant even have like what kind of restaurant is it? I just heard a really good story about a restaurant who huge, great food, right? Good service, but their valet was terrible. So there's all these different nuances of why restaurants rise and fall. But strictly talking about getting customers in the door, right? So strictly talking about getting customers in the door, it's all about ads. Facebook is probably your best go, right? Like if you look up Matt Plapp's Facebook strategy, yes, we're talking about SEO, but for restaurants. But if you want to attract people, you got to use a compelling offer and then convert those offers into customers, which then means build an email, SMS list and go after interactions, contests, valuable content, and then leverage that database for your ongoing growth with birthdays, missed promotions. There's a 4 to 5 out 4 to 6 happy hour kind of thing. You can do a promotion, and that's as long as you have that list. Then you could go into building SEO assets through press releases, right? Press releases. But you got to come at it all these different angles quickly and easily, and build that database up quickly. So if you want more data or more context, Google Matt Plapp Facebook strategy for restaurants, and it's all right there.
What it do? What up, Entree? What's going down?
I think John is on point. But there's ways to give your business SEO. There's many ways. I think the press release, and if I want chicken wings, I'm not worried about SEO.
Exactly.
I'm worried about getting my chicken wings.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
But I do see many mistakes. Like one mistake is a huge mistake is jumping on something like toast, for example. If you have a 25 product menu, you miss out on 25 pages on your website. That could generate traffic each in its own, right? You think in the CRM system, even though they're taking your money and not directly integrating with your actual restaurant, if you're not doing all the things, but you lose the traction of each and every single one of those menu items and the blog connected to the menu items to even generate the long-term imprint of something. So you automatically miss out on the Google site crawling. You automatically miss out on the web maps, the site maps, right? Soon as you don't have each of your products in the e-commerce format, inside of a restaurant format, inside of a booking format, to be able to directly integrate with your business without the third toast party. But that's just the biggest thing I see. Because most restaurants would jump straight to a landing page type of website and then use toast on the back end. So they automatically miss out on the things that would bring them the traffic if they had more imprints around the internet. And your listing based on where people are searching at. If people searching Google or Apple or some people search TikTok now for food. If you're not optimized in these places where people are searching based on your listings, which is called your reputation management across all listings, then you're failing there as well. So as far as being able to actually SEO is just footprints and stamps across the internet. So if you don't have these things, then like Favor, I heard me talking about Pinterest in the last meeting. I may need to get on some Pinterest stuff, but I want to see the food. If I'm looking for something that I ain't never tried, I'm like, man, that look good, And so being in the right places to get found is definitely significant. So that is all SEO, being found. And if you're not in those places, you can't be found. That's the number one thing. So
I think that's a good point. You brought up a huge point. I agree 100% because I just literally wanted to look for some sushi. So I'm like, best sushi in city, right? Or sushi restaurant in city. And that's probably, yes. So going back to SEO, yes.
It's like the chicken wings. We don't care about none of the SEO stuff. We want to eat right now.
Right. And then one of the other things you just mentioned, which I completely remembered my experience, is I wanted to order from home and then go pick it up. I live just on the edge of town, if you will.
And if you don't got where I can order fast and pick it up, that's like a customer service side, because I can't stand getting there and have to order and still wait. I can't stand that.
Exactly. Yep. So you got to have not only like, here's what I think you're saying. What I'm saying is create a page that goes after those. Of course, you and I and everybody here should know, use GSE, use Google Search Console, build a page that's focused on that chicken wing or sushi or whatever it is. Have a good system that they can click on their mobile phone and order, and then have it have it timed like, hey, it'll be ready in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, 60 minutes. And then have a ticketing system or something that actually works for the restaurant. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, when I think of it, I use AI on a high level. So knowing that I may use WooCommerce, for example, for e-commerce system, and I may use an extension like WP Cafe to turn on my WooCommerce item to food items, so I can switch out, toppings and condiments on a hot dog, or, I just did a Philly restaurant. They got to switch out the no onions and onions and the, all those things. But when you think about a listing, for example, a product listing, a menu, of the blogs around it can always be optimized on a daily basis. So having an agent, like using tools like N8N, right? being able to plug directly into your e-commerce, Shopify, WooCommerce, whatever, and on a daily basis, optimize what currently exists, or create what you don't have. So being able to have an AI that wakes up every day, logs into the site for you, being able to say, oh, okay, these product titles may need to be changed around because these getting less traffic, and then you wake up with a report in your email, or you upgrade to the voice agents that I use, and my AI gives me a phone call about the listings that's been optimized based on the keywords that I'm aiming for. So to be able to have my AI working while I'm sleeping is always the goal. And then for my AI to wake me up out my sleep is the next goal. So that's the kind of stuff I do on a daily basis. So, knowing SEO manual methods, it's about, okay, if the AI can log into this system, how do I teach the AI the manual methods in which I want to aim for? And then being able to, I used to get email reports and then check my email for all the reports. But then I start triggering phone calls to call me based on what the report says.
Y'all got me thinking about something, and I want to hear this because, John, you came out, beginning like saying, oh, you know what, you don't need SEO. You kind of do, but you don't. But like you said, Andre, if you need chicken wings, you're not going to be thinking SEO and chicken wings. You're going to be thinking, I'm hungry,
Okay,
I
nothing
want
about
to eat.
SEO when I'm trying to eat.
Exactly.
I may find them faster because of the methods they may have put in, and what I'm actually looking for. It may be good deals. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in Atlanta, in Decatur. You can't. It's nowhere. It's not many places you can find 25 wings and fries for $16.
You see what I'm saying? And when you're also searching too, you're searching locally within a mile radius, anywhere between I believe a 10 to 30. At least a sweet spot could be 20-mile radius. You know what I'm saying? So people are going to look for the closest. If it's 10 and below, that's like a sweet spot to them. So if you have a business, and let's say you have a restaurant and you have a location, you have great food and everything is looking good, but your SEO is terrible. In other words, you don't have any existing presence on your website showing up online. And let's say you're being picked up by all the amazing publications in the world that talk about, to the point where you even end up on the Food Network. Let's say you get there. Now, if you don't have any SEO set up on your website, John, does that really help? Does that even help at all? Yeah, you get traffic, you get recognition, but for you, data-wise, intelligence-wise, and otherwise, do you feel like you would have missed the mark, or you feel like it doesn't really matter still?
No. I think you missed what I say. I said if you need traffic, like I think what I heard was Zayed said, like, I need traffic now. That was my mindset. So I think what we need to do is clarify where that restaurant is at. Do they need traffic now? They need Facebook ads. But yes, do they need the back end of building out a good website and a SEO website and a good e-commerce website? Yes, absolutely. But I'm saying, like, if someone needs business today, that's an easy Facebook, a Facebook strategy. And I'm like, again, I totally agree with Andre. Yes, I'm 100%. They need SEO. Yes. But if they need it today, then they need to start running ads, building that database and driving traffic, just getting some type of traffic. And then on the back end, you go through the process of building those pages.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure that we're saying the same thing.
Oh yeah, you know me.
I was like, wait, John. I was like, okay, maybe tonight is a little bit of a different,
No.
Cool. I love it.
I'm talking about someone, like, traditionally speaking, they're like, oh yeah, we'll build out your pages, and then give us 90 days, and like what Andre's saying, like, if you want chicken wings, you're gonna go to the computer, your mobile, and you'd be like, best chicken wings in the city, or best chicken wings near me. And that's where all your Facebook, just your Facebook posting, organic, your press releases, all the different platforms that you can publish your offers on as a restaurant or as a business, doesn't matter. There's other people in other industries in this room. It's like, what industries can you put your offer on that's going to rank. So for instance, we all know we should all know the Perplexity, the AI trick, right? You can get ranked right away. Well, we should be using that to get ranked if we're strictly talking about SEO. So when someone, or even a video, like using YouTube, best hot wings in Decatur, or whatever the food is, using video, using press releases, using AI, not when I say AI, I mean AI platforms, using other platforms to publish on. So if you can publish on that platform, you don't have to own it. You should be publishing on it and getting links and images to rank on Google. So for instance, Favor's a big Pinterest SEO guy, right? So get some really good photography of the really good wings or the sushi, and then you post it on Pinterest, and that Pinterest post is going to come up, or that Pinterest link is going to come up. Absolutely, man, 100%.
I love it, John. And Lee, I want to make sure because you jumped out, and I want to make sure I don't forget to reach out to you. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being on stage with us. We'd love to hear from you as well, to know if you have any question, contribution. The floor is yours, and I'll definitely respond back to you, John, because this is a good conversation. Lee, the floor is yours.
Hi, good morning or good evening, I guess, where you are. I'm being a bit cheeky because I'm not in the restaurant business, but I'm the worst person with the internet. I want to make sure my website's perfect and this and that, which it never is. I run a very high-end PI business, and my lawyer, who runs a very big criminal law practice, said, do it all by video or make video your key thing. Is this something we can talk about, or is it restaurant only?
We can talk about it and tie it in. Let's definitely see, because I want to hear this.
But I actually also, being somebody who loves to cook, and I don't think it would put people off going at 3 o'clock in the morning to get the ribs or whatever. When you've got a page that's loading or something you want the customer to wait, why not almost teach them how to make the food, but not in the way that you're making it, not to the quality, because people see you're using, say, 00 sugar. 00 pasta for pasta stuff, and the best chicken you could possibly get. Do you think that could be something that would work for you guys?
Well, let me chime in here, because that's an amazing thought. So thank you for that. Here's the thing we need to think about as it all comes down to one thing. What's that person's intent? Okay, because Andre said, I'm hungry right now. I'm guessing 99% he's not interested in anything but buying those wings and eating them right away. He's not interested in how it's cooked or where it's cooked or what it. Yes, there's a possibility, and don't get me wrong. Don't hear me wrong way. But if someone's looking to learn how to cook, that's a different intent. And this is one of the things that a lot of people, including myself and Favor, have talked about a lot in this room and other rooms and different conferences and SEO conferences, is intent. And if you think about it, it's really interesting, right? Because we all go to the internet for Google. Let's just call it Google for now. It could be an LLM. But it's interesting because our intent of how we search and when we search and where we search has changed or evolved over time, especially with LLMs in the last 2 years. Now I find myself...
What's an LLM? Sorry.
Oh, like ChatGPT or Perplexity. It's
large language models. The chat bots.
Guilty, I'm far more to be typing something, especially if it's going to be complicated in detail.
No, you're good, right? So if you have whatever the intent is, think about the customer journey, right? So So if I'm hungry, you're hungry, Entree's hungry, Favor's hungry, we're all hungry, and we're all sitting in a room, what do? We get on our phones and we're looking for food and to call and to order because we want that. Let's say we all agree on hot wings. It's It's Monday night, and we're gonna go We're gonna go to the local restaurant and eat hot wings and talk about whatever, right? So we're gonna bring them back to the house and hang out. So we are getting on our phone. We are looking. We are deciding what kind of flavor we want, what kind of drinks we want, and as soon as we can, who's open? So who's open? What restaurants are busy, not busy? What's their reviews? Right. So the intent, the drive, the thinking is completely different than thinking about, oh, well, I have an event coming up.
Sorry to cut across you. I totally get that. But wouldn't you, when driving towards this restaurant, if they're sticking on videos about hot wings and how we gently simmer them with flavor from our field in Mexico,
well,
that's building up your brand as well as.
Yes, I
it's
get.
Not an important question.
No.
John, I think he actually talking about like. Like I definitely agree with you. Like it's a difference between like how to do something, because I'm not trying to learn how to do no wings. I know how to cook many. I get what you're saying, Lee, because there's a way of teaching your clients your process so that they're more intrigued on what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
That's like
when I go to Cloud 13 in Vegas, their whole thing is they're manufacturing these marijuana products in house as a process, which makes it more authentic when you're buying it. You know,
so it's more about marketing. So I think, Lee, you're talking more about marketing. You're getting branding out there. So a lot of people still talk about branding, right? Like look at Coke, right? Yes. Coke, right? Coke spends millions, multi-millions, maybe billions of dollars on running cool ads about sugar water. Okay, but we all know what Coke is. We all are super clear about Coke. But they still run ads because they want to brand. So now you're saying, well, I'm that, most people are not Coke, granted. So yes, can you take a YouTube ad or a Facebook ad, a video ad and run branding ads? Absolutely. Yes, 100%. Right? Because we want to build up the brand of that place. So if you get a good marketing person, now here's the thing. Another thing you got to think about. Do you want to go all professional and get super Hollywood on your ad, or do you want to go home kind of homemade? And I've been hearing and seeing and testing the more homemade route is even more believable, right? Because
absolutely.
So those are the kind of things. So if you're going to build a branded Entree, jump in here. If you're going to build a brand, like a branding campaign, a video, try doing that 4 to 5 segment video of how you do stuff, how they do stuff, and then start running paid ads to that, and then track it, like put tracking phone numbers on there, tracking the UTM, like do your tracking due diligence.
Yeah. See, and the thing is, there's literally no right or wrong, but there's a right or wrong based on your actual goals. So somebody. Say it again.
My goal is for somebody, say you want to type in asset search or background search, where you're thinking, my daughter's bringing this guy home to this house, our house, and spends more time looking at the art than he does my daughter. I'm not sure about this. Then you get a video of me, open neck shirt, different cuffs and collars. So you're in a position of looking at a relationship, and I'll talk 3 or 4 minutes on it. If I have like some kind of text underneath it, can that go into SEO and be taken into it, or not really?
I mean that's something different. Just transcribing it and turning the transcription into content that is SEO friendly. because a video by itself may not be SEO friendly because there's no context
Yeah.
that is being crawled. But in the aspect of what I was talking about though is if you're saying that, if you're not understand, it's a niche between actually teaching something like, hey, here is some AI stuff. It's either it's either I'm gonna do it for you, or I'm gonna teach it to you so that you can do
Yep.
for yourself. You know, but in the aspect of, there's some brands that will show you the process. Like I may show the process of building an agent, so that you understand, so that you're just enlightened as a client on the process of what it takes to build it, versus somebody that's actually trying to learn how to build an agent. But this is the other thing. The perspective of John, it's actually marketing when I'm saying, hey, you know, as an AI agency, I'm gonna show you how to build an AI, you know, as a client perspective, to show you the process so that you can buy from me. But since I actually teach developers as well, you know, in a business, just in business in general, you know, Favor teaches SEO, but he does SEO. So there's a difference between his service and his course. There's a difference between his service, his course, and his SEO consultant. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm teaching you how to do for yourself. You know, to do for you, teach how to do for yourself, and giving you a product that teaches you to do so. Each of those things are a little bit different. And if you're talking about business scaling your business, in a sense of, a lot of people have education of what they can actually do as a service. You know what I'm saying? If they do something as a service already, you know, I turn my services into education. So when my hands don't work and my mind don't work, I have a product I can sell. So if I'm teaching how to wrap a car or how to make a t-shirt, I manually do it now. You know, I may get paid $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to wrap a car, you know, or a bus or a van or a truck. But when it comes to a digital product, you know, I can sell the same how instead of doing the wrap a car service for you, now I'm selling you a $300, $400 video course on how to wrap a car. But those are two different niches that you're marketing to, because there's clients that I know, they got money, they're not trying to touch nothing. They're trying to drop their keys off, their car off, everything.
Exactly, and mine's very, very high end, so that makes a lot of sense.
Good. Yeah. You know, when you talked about this, Entre, and I really want to address this too, because Leo asked a very great question. And hey, Stack. Hey, Dr. Fashion. And glad to see you here.
Fashion, Austin, Stacks, Pack, Bella. What it do?
Always here. Appreciate y'all for being here. And Sanvari too. And Bella, what's going down? Lee, you gave a really good question. And when Entre was even mentioning the 300 and the 3,000, all I was thinking about was percentages. And I was like, this makes total sense. I'm going to teach you this. You're going to spend 10%, because when think about that 90 to 10% scale. And I'll put it this way. You have 100% in a balance. It's 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, 10-90, 100-0. Now, when I use 10% of what the value is, knowing that this would value at 3,000, but I'm going to give it to you for 300, and you're going to do it yourself. That means you're spending that 90% of acquisition of teaching someone else, now flipping that to being taught. And that's what you're investing the 10% on, as opposed to putting that in a flip reverse position and having somebody else take care of that bulk while you focus on, you know, the things that are more admin focused that will bring in that 90% back with that 10% investment of time. Let's say an hour or 2 hours in a day, that kind of metric. So when you talked about the branding and the SEO and the value, it always goes back to your website, your directories, where you are showing up locally. Now with AI visibility, are you showing on ChatGPT? And I say, hey, what's the best restaurant to eat sushi? And if you're a sushi restaurant and you're not showing up in that top pack or that local pack, then that means you're not within that visible about mapping, and there's a way you can show up within that mapping, but if it's not available, then that's a question that needs to be fulfilled and satisfied through your query. And that's why, Anshul was saying that it could be positive or negative, but it depends on your action. So I would definitely love to talk about this with you, Lee, and thank you for subscribing and connecting here. I have so many questions to ask you about what you have in mind, but when you talked about the branding, it directly proportionally connects back to your website and your visibility.
I get that. It's funny you should mention sushi, because that's what gave me the idea. When we go to a Vegas or a London sushi restaurant, which is really high end, and we're not on a date, we want to sit at the counter seeing how it's made, and the difference between when we go and grab our $20 yo sushi for a bit of lunch, or send our PA out to get us some lunch, some yo sushi, to actually seeing these people that, like, I go to a restaurant in London, which is crazy money, but you see why it's crazy money, because you are getting stuff and seeing stuff. They were not going to teach you how to make it, and they realize, wow, there's a lot more to this than just getting a bit of sushi rice and putting a bit of salmon sushi in it.
Exactly. And that intention is very big, because you have informational searches, navigational searches, commercial searches, and transactional
And that's what we're talking
searches.
about. That's immediate traffic.
Exactly.
When I'm ready for these chicken wings, I don't give a damn.
Got it.
Running
I
ads
want
and
the
running
wings. Don't
traffic.
teach me how to make them. Don't teach my grandma how to suck eggs while you're here either.
I was just saying, when I want these chicken wings, I'm not trying to. I'm the immediate traffic. When you think about just Google by itself, if you started your restaurant yesterday, right? The main thing is to be on Google. But if you're not running, let's just say you're not running an ad on Google, you're not going to appear at the top. So to be able to mix direct traffic marketing techniques with long-term SEO techniques, and you put those together as a restaurant, you're booming. If you don't have, if you don't want to spend money forever, then you get your SEO going. that's number one.
No, I
Because
can't. Sorry, I don't need to cut across.
Stack, what it do?
What's good, buddy? What up, baby?
What's good, Stag? Lee, yeah, let's hear from you, and then we come to you, Stag. This is nice.
I am probably
Talk the
gonna be more
fashion.
expensive. I'm probably going to be more expensive than 80% of PI agencies out there, because I can find things they can't at the moment. And I thought, do I really want to get involved with Google? Because then I'm just going to be in a pricing war.
But this what I'm saying. The pricing war doesn't matter if you're not even on the battlefield.
But
You got to start with the battlefield before you worry about pricing. That's just like a business having a Facebook business before you're running ads. You at least need to have a page, and that's the freest mechanism out there.
Yeah, wait. So hold up, Lee. Are you saying PA like personal assistant? Or are you saying PR like press release?
Well, I think I was. I don't think I mentioned personal assistant.
No. What kind of business do you have? You run what?
A very, very discreet private investigation service.
Oh, okay. PI. Okay, sorry. PI. Okay. Now we're on track. Okay, gotcha. So if let's just say we, all three of us on the top here, we're looking for a PI service because we want to spy.
And PI on the high level, John. Don't forget that.
PI on the high level.
I hope that didn't sound arrogant.
Because he did say that it was high end clients. If I'm looking for a private investigator, I'm actually skipping the people that sponsored ad because they just trying to be in my face.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole. So here's a whole nother level of thinking, right? So you have to not only think like a high end client, you have to think like, how do I want to appear? How do I want Google to think about me? How do I want all those kind of things? I mean, here's what I would do, and here's how I would think about it, right? This might give you an idea, or you may or may not like this, but it's a way of thinking through things. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to attract high end clients, now are you in the States or are you in the UK?
London.
You're in. Okay, perfect. So you have a whole different language over there than what we have here.
Right.
Okay. Now, to qualify that, you guys say for what we say, the trunk of a car, you guys say boot, right?
Correct.
No, that's you say.
Yeah.
We say
Okay.
garage. You get it. Okay. So what I would say is I would go into one of the LLMs, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and really get clear on who that high-end client is. So you're going to have the help of an AI help you think through with your input the type of website that you want to create. Now, here's the thing. Go out and do your due diligence on what other PI high-end agencies are doing or not doing.
They're awful.
Yeah. So that's where you can improve. Like, hey, what are they doing wrong that you can do right? Now, then you put this list together, and then you get a person that can build this really high-end, exclusive, SEO optimized content. Now, I'm not asking you to tell us, but what is the customer journey of this person that's going to hire you, right? Think through that process. And then this is where you're going to then use these assets that we've been talking about to attract those high-end clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing I was just talking about is actually being listed there. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about SEO, you know, that's just it. All it is digital footprints and the new SEO is actually inside of the LLMs. So when you learn that LLMs use some of the things agents use, you know, so of course in general you would think of Google search as Yelp and Yahoo and Bing and Google and those type of things. I mean, those are still some of the standards of people are using these to search for a PI. So when you're not found in some of these places, sometimes they check 2 or 3 places to see what your reviews is and if they check, as soon as they check more than one place, they're actually checking your reputation across the internet, which when you have the right software that integrates all of your reviews across multiple platforms, it's called a reputation management tool. So, but in the sense of a large language model, if you don't understand where Grok or ChatGPT or Gemini is getting their actual search from, you know, even some of those people are searching, hey, where do I find a high level PI? And if you don't, as a developer, I know tools like SERP API and DuckDuckGo, you know, are places that AIs use to be able to help search. So if you're not listed there, then you're not going to come up on none of those lists. So if they say, hey man, I'm in such and such city, they can be in your city, and say, hey, give me the top 5 high net worth, you know, PIs that I can hire. If you never submitted to that digital platform, that digital mall that pulls the digital information to get the question from the digital user, then you're never going to be mentioned.
Yeah, Andre, I feel like we're on the same. All of us, it's like we're on the same level today. Lee, Andre, John, and Stack is going to drop it too. Because as soon as you mentioned SERP API, I was already loading up. I loaded it up like about 10 minutes before because I've just been listening. I've been sitting back listening, and I'm like, okay, this is the goal. The goal is to be seen online for certain results. And if you're in London, then your results is going to be different from somebody else who's in a completely different country, city, state, province, you know, zip code, district. So that's one platform to use. So I now said, okay, I'm gonna just put this on hold, and when everyone is done, I want to come back and mention this to you and actually do a test run. So I see in London there are 39.4 million people, and I'm typing in there PI agency London. So I'm going to do a test search, and usually on the right side it gives you the JSON, which is just another way of just saying schema, or just another way of saying code or scripts for how search is conducted. And then on the left side you're going to see the actual result. So right now I'm now kind of like, say, teleporting online, because now I can see.
But and that's you is exactly the same thing I was talking about, because because you when you think about the commercial platforms of what for example, a United States user, we may automatically say Google. But I already looked up what London, or when you synchronize something like AI or ChatGPT, SERP API you just mentioned, or DuckDuckGo. That's literally one of the biggest things. Tally and Firecrawl, agents and AI and LLMs are becoming the across the board search engines. So as soon as you say, London, it doesn't matter anymore. But I looked it up earlier. But across the globe, or Europe, in some of these countries, it's there. Instead of using Google, they're now using, for example, ChatGPT. And if ChatGPT is pulling from the same resources, they have the same output that we can have. So we think about some of these searches and some of the agents being able to put yourself in the next question should be, how do I put myself in the search? That's always the next question. How do I get indexed? Because I want to be found.
I've already signed myself up to have a chat with Flavor.
See, that's the first thing you should do. But that's the main thing, to be able to put yourself in those places to be found.
Sure.
Thank you, Lee. And I'm looking forward to sharing with this what we're talking about visually, because I like to be visual with it, and that also allows you to see it from that perspective too, because everything we're talking about here is like, it's very tactical, and that's really my goal for 2026, is to be really tactical with time, because time is of the essence, and when people are searching, they're searching within a timeline. So I'm very particular about that. And when people are searching online, they're searching with the intent in mind too. So whatever they're searching.
With the state of today's economy, it's more important than ever to invest in products that last for years to come. As the seasons shift and get cooler, make sure your closet is stocked with durable layers that stand the test of time from American Giant. American Giant's clothes work harder and are wearable season after season. Their greatest hoodie ever made is made from the highest quality materials that are cut and sewn right here in the United States. So you're investing right back in your local community. Choosing American Giant means taking a stand for American manufacturing and hardworking Americans, something other mega corporations don't care about. From fleece to knit, all in a range of colors for versatile daily wear, American Giant delivers everyday pieces designed for everyday life. Feel the difference of quality, made-to-last clothes from American Giant. Get 20% off your first order with code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com with code STAPLE20.
Online for whatever they get back as a result is going to be important. If it's from Perplexity, that's technically Microsoft. Microsoft is technically LinkedIn. So when you start looking at Google, Google is technically YouTube. When you look at Facebook, Facebook is technically Instagram. So when you look at the ecosystem and just look around, the omni-channel sphere is very, very, very synchronized. And at the same time, you can use it in a way to really show up online, because if you get results from TikTok, results from Threads, results from Facebook, results from Instagram, results from Pinterest, or from your website, those are the places that it's going to pull from. And we can use those as particular access points to now connect back to you. So if I would conduct a research and say, okay, I'm looking at the top 5, top 10 results on the first page within the API, I know that, okay, I use my desktop to search for this. But now if I'm using my mobile phone, somebody else is using their desktop, somebody else is using their tablet, that's another completely different vertical altogether. So it gets deeper and deeper and deeper the more you go down the rabbit hole. But if you're able to focus on the anchor and the bottom line, which is the foundation, then any other thing above it, whether it's an AI tool or was a prompt, it's not going to matter, because everything has been fundamentally created from a
It's a job for you, gentlemen, not for me to worry about.
I got you.
I hear you.
Thank you, Lee.
Hey, Lee, one other thing you probably should do is build a who is your, like on your website, very tactfully, very English style, like who is your customer and who's not your customer. Like typically our customers are blank and our prices, I mean, you got to think this through really strategically. Because I know there are American style of way of doing it, and then there's an English style way of doing it. But like typically, our customers buy our starter package at $20,000 a month plus. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what your prices are, but if it's a high end, you have to disqualify people, and then take what I would say is like. And I could be completely off, but I would say you're gonna take pictures of you or whoever you're.
I'm going to do it on video, actually.
People do video of you, of what you're doing, and pictures for your website around London, right? And take when you're about doing your business. You're going to you're going to go back to that conversation. You're going to show people what you do, but not every little detail. It's like you're not going to show them how to do it. You're going to show them,
of course,
the lifestyle, right?
My thing is a menu only. The call to action is call me up. We'll know in 5 minutes whether we can sit together and work together. Just by calling me up. Most PIs give like 10 minutes free. I give 45 minutes free, even if I can't help, because believe it or not, whilst most people think the PI is the guy that stands on the lamppost smoking a cigarette waiting for a spouse to come home, if you and Favor or you and somebody you don't know do a merger, you come to me and say, no, I want to know all about this.
It's a lot of free time.
Yeah. Sorry? I can imagine. Here's how I imagine you, Lee. This is my right brain working. Okay, so I grew up with a mom who was an artist and a dad who was an engineer. Okay, watching 007. Here's how I imagine you. Right, you got the Austin Martin, you got the English style clothes, and you got the binoculars, right? And you got your cell phone, laptop working away in somewhere in London. So, use those kind of things to your advantage. And maybe that's completely off, but use the analogy of what people think about what they want, who they want to hire,
right?
And build that into your what's the word I'm looking for? Into your
USP.
Yeah, but into your character, like who are they hiring? Who's this entity? Like you're not just hiring you; they're hiring this agency, right? So and then one of the things I learned, this is extremely powerful. If you name something, if you name it, it gives it authority, right? If you name it, so. How are you different, and what is your name of your package, the name of your service? Like, so this
company name or
no, not your company name. The package,
individual service.
Yeah. So you're not just talking about SEO anymore. You're talking about your quality, the way you work, the name of your business, the name of your packages. And now you're getting into that, what's the word I'm looking for? Into that like character development that you're not just hiring a PI, you're hiring the guy, the man,
Sure. Thank you, gentlemen.
This is so good. And Lee, you brought a really great question to the room. And I think it's very important for us to look at it from very different perspectives, because this could apply to so many businesses out there that are simply just wanting to, get visibility and make sure that they can have a good outreach. It reminds me of a client that we worked with here I'm based in Houston, Texas, and the client is in Atlanta. So I know Atlanta. I've lived in Atlanta too. And I was, just trying to understand the concept of what the problem was with this client initially with the business. And it happened off a spin because we got on a call, we spoke about something totally different. Come to find out, they needed help with their Pinterest and with their business because the person I was talking to, his wife runs a business locally and she runs a bakery. And the first thing that he told me about the bakery, which made me just think, okay, I know what the problem is and I know what the solution is. He mentioned to me that somebody that lives about 2 miles down the road from that location called online, but when they called because it was a referral. It wasn't a call because they found them online. So it was already a process for them to find them in the first place. So the person now told him that it's quite strange that I'm 2 miles away, but when I go on Google, I can't find your website. I can't find your store. I can't find your bakery. So he was like, how are we going to get this bakery to pop up online? Because, they do a mixture of things and they sell really good, cookies and all this amazing, amazing food and snacks that you can also, munch on. And the goal was for them to get that visibility. So the first thing we did was, okay, let's do the normal rundown check. This is something that anybody could do. You don't even need me to do this. It's something you can do on your own, but it's something that will also need guidance when it comes to implementation and strategy, which is to connect your website to Google Search Console. So that was not connected. It was prior, but it was disconnected. So when I looked at the chart about 24 months prior, I realized they were connected in 2023, but all through 2024, they lost it. It was a flat line. So I don't know what happened, but I came, midway to, figure it out at that point. And then we said, okay, we're going to make sure we can fix this. Now we fixed it. Business is back up, everything is going well for them, and that was within a 3-month timeline. Now that's a local business that was already existing, that's already doing well. It's not that they were suffering or they had problems with sales or visibility, they just were not available online to be seen. But people could drive, you could go to a plaza, you could just smell the warm cookies and you're gonna go in because you're hungry, because you want to have some cookies today. So their problem was not sales, the problem was visibility, and of course with AI included. So that has been solved, but that was because we were able to look at it from the intricate matter of were they available on the market, were they even within the sphere of visibility. And if that was the case that they were not, then that's where we had to create that visibility for them. And now they're doing well with their business in Roswell, in Georgia. So it's like when you think about the long-term effects about where you are online, whether it's through Pinterest or whether it's through a post or a podcast or whatever platform you're using to publish your content, it really depends on how you're able to demystify it through these media assets and just let somebody see it because they're searching within that phase. And that's also where they're going to find you relevant because they trust the source that they're searching from. If they trust Google and Google trusts you, then they're going to trust you too. It's a three-way, I'll call it a three-way triad. So you're able to look at it from that possibility to just make sure that you're not missing out on those loops as well. So that was a really great point, John, and thank you for that question, Lee. I noticed, just to let you know, I don't know if you saw the link after you signed up that redirected you to the booking link. I don't know if you got that because I checked as you were speaking and I didn't see it, but I saw the sign up. So I wanted to make sure I was able to send it, but through the DMs here, it wasn't allowing me to send the link. I don't know why. Maybe there's a Clubhouse bug, but I wanted to make sure that you had that link available. Lee, are you there?
Oh, you mean your link? Yeah, hire our SEO agency for visibility. I've already filled that out.
Okay, and then did it redirect you?
Yeah, but I think I got started chatting with you.
Oh, that's why.
Sign up
Okay.
for emails. How can we help? SEO marketing, PR interest development.
To the next page where you can choose on the calendar. So I just wanted to make sure you didn't miss that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do that now. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. This is great feedback, and I want to mention this too when it comes to search, so that we also look at this in a very special way. When people go to restaurants, they go because they are hungry. That's a fact everyone knows, right? Now, because they're hungry, they're going to look for something on the menu. And sometimes when you're deciding to go to a restaurant as a group, most times you'd have to go to a restaurant that everybody in the group can get something from the menu. Most times, more often than not. So if I'm going to be looking for steak, and then John's looking for fish, and then Entree's looking for wings, and let's say Lee's looking for sushi, there's going to be a point where one of the products in the menu is not going to match the full menu, because there are different products or different food stuff that's going to be within that listing. So when you're now looking for the best base that's going to allow you to decide on which restaurant to pick, it's going to be based on the majority or what alternatives you have as options for the food that you want to eat for that day. So why I'm saying this is because each and every one of these different types of food types, whether it's sushi or fish or whatever it could be, they're all going to have a specific search volume. Now, within this search volume is going to change every month, right? Just the other day was Thanksgiving. Everyone was looking for turkey, right? So turkey would have gone up in searches based on the search volume. Now, if that search volume triggers a link, and that link is coming from your website that has a web link attached on google.com, then that's called tokenization. In other words, it's a duplicate copy of the original from your domain property, which is your website. So if you're looking at it from a restaurant SEO standpoint, either as a person who's looking for food or somebody who is optimizing for a food restaurant, then your objective as a business is to make sure, one, you're locally present, and also on your website, you have your local address listed in plain text. And even I can even say this with a little bit of some enhancement, with a hyperlinked text that will link them back to your Google Maps listing. So when you have those things in place and you go to Facebook and you drop your link, you go to TikTok, you drop your link, you go to Pinterest, you drop your link. As you're dropping these links are linking back to your website, and your website has these other links corresponding back to these social networks that you've linked from or linked to. So you're creating a bridge between these two, right? So when you're building that bridge, Facebook is connecting to your website. Your website is connected to Facebook. Now there's a bridge. Now the algorithm understands this Facebook page belongs to this website, belongs to this property. So it's not rocket science. It's just a binary code formula. But the way it's presented has to be done in a very tactical, strategic way that you're not also confusing the algorithm in the beginning. You don't want to have 3 Facebook pages linking to one website. It's going to be confusing. So there's something called NAP, name, address, phone number. An address doesn't have to be your actual physical address. It could also be your virtual web address, your World Wide Web address. So when you look at the addresses that are connected to your business, whether you have a business phone number, a business address, a business name, a business entity, a business archetype, whatever it is that you have, a business operation, all those things are going to point back to your domain. So it's very important to think about these things. And Austin, thank you for the feedback. You said great and informative conversation. You are welcome. You're most welcome on that too. So Andre, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
I like.
And Stack,
I feel like he's been on the phone forever.
Stack has been on the phone. I was like, Stack,
maybe it's just the emoji on his profile now.
Yeah, Clubhouse be bugging. Stack, let's talk about it. What's going on?
I don't know if he's still on the phone. Maybe he don't.
He said good room in the chat, so I thought he's probably listening. But jump in anytime.
He did just comment. That's crazy. He on the phone commenting. You still on the phone, Stats? Yeah. I don't know, but
yeah,
I
just
wanted.
I'm just supporting, bro.
Oh yeah. I see your phone emoji still on, so it literally look like you've been on the phone for the last hour or so. But I like how you was talking about what you were talking about, the favorite when you talk about search volume. You know what I'm saying? Because people are searching not only turkey, they were searching, homemade sides, mac and cheese and, collard greens and, some of these other things that are, kind of related to Thanksgiving. But what that shows is even in that search volume, if you're a restaurant and you can throw in a Even that's why Starbucks every year throw in the what do you call it? The pumpkin spice, right? Yeah, we got the pumpkin spice latte, right? So the seasonal items as a restaurant, making a seasonal item so you can show up and have some seasonal search volume based on the listing that's listed is always a great strategy, But I like the search volume within the search volume, because I think of, for example, let's just say you did have turkey. You did have the best turkey leg that stuffed with mac and cheese and collard greens, and I wanted to be a fatback today. Yeah. If I know, for example, kids and some people only searching Uber Eats, right? So that is not only a search volume for the turkey leg, it's also search volume for Uber Eats if you're not there. So if somebody opened that app up right now and search turkey leg stuffed with mac and cheese, right, they just want this item. If you're not, for one, if you don't have the item, of course you're not gonna be there. But if you're not even, if matter of fact, if you was on Uber Eats and you just happen to have a latte or a mac and cheese and turkey sushi, some soul food mixed with Chinese, mixed with mixed with Thanksgiving. If you didn't have anything, you could have had something related, you would have popped up, right? So in the sense of you being on Uber Eats and being listed locally, you never know what somebody's gonna search. So having another avenue to be listed and have exposure allows you to optimize more of the volume. You can't even be a part of the search volume if you're not there while they're searching. That's like having an e-commerce item, but you're not listed in Amazon. So the millions, the billions of people that's being searched, you're not even possibly there. So in a sense of being found, in large language models, even Google and some of these extensions, Lily, is weird. I have my other phone. As soon as I search my web browser, it goes straight to ChatGPT. I don't want to go to ChatGPT so I can search Google. But by default, if it's searching language models and it's going to search these language models by default and you're not listed in the places that they're searching, you're also going to miss out. So TikTok, people search TikTok, and all these things when it comes to food. That's new to me. But for people to search, hey, what is the top restaurants nearby me? They used to search that on Google, for the last 20 years. Top chicken wing places nearby. That's just maybe just me, right? But in the sense of people searching TikTok, or if in a random place, if you never posted your business on TikTok for them to search whatever that is, then you can't be found. I mean, that's just, at least listing there is number one, and optimizing the listing that people find. If you ask ChatGPT, hey, give me 25 places to list my business and be found based on my product and service, most of the time it don't take you much to list there. For you to manage and update and all those things, or your reviews across the board, to have your reputation management going and growing, which is really what all that means. Is always the goal before you start leaving digital footprints. Because I want chicken wings. I don't care about your SEO. But your SEO is going to matter, because that's going to allow you to be found at the top while I'm searching without thinking. Because I'm automatically going to search. Matter of fact, I'm going to skip the people that's trying to throw the chicken wings in my face because they got a deal going on today. And I'm going to skip the sponsored ads. So, I don't know if it's in y'all second nature to skip sponsored ads, but it's damn sure in mine right now.
Yo, you killing me, bro.
Totally.
Yes, Lee.
No, I'm saying totally. I agree with you with the sponsored ads. And with addresses, and do tell me if I'm taking up too much of your time, would it be wrong to have 3 addresses? One London, which is kind of the Euro centre. One Monaco, which is the wealth centre. And one Tel Aviv, which is the intelligence centre. Catches on our address and phone number in Tel Aviv. All comes back to me, but might that help things?
Question, and this also, I'll just give you like a case study reference on a business that a multinational company that we worked with, and we built out. This was even before like AI was starting to show up on Google. This was like SGE days, 2022, 2023 time, around that time. And they have locations in so many parts of the world, different continents, and they have about at least over 250 locations within Google's mapping. So they had a problem, and the problem was, how do we keep our name consistent but keep our locations different? That was the major thing that they wanted to solve. And that's when we like decided to, get that going, and we're able to solve it. And it was very robust, but it was very applicable. So when you mentioned these 3 locations, what was coming to my mind is, what we will be able to do online is, when you're looking at these packs, they're coming in different ways. So when you submit your location to Google and you're located in country A, you're going to get a letter in the mail from Google, or rather a postcard in the mail.
Yep. To say this, and you have to type it in.
Exactly. So when you get that 3 times, within 3 locations, you have 3 unique identification addresses, but they're all linking back to one website because they're in 3 different coordinates, longitudes and latitudes. So when you're searching on Google, Google is searching based on your location, but the location in technical terms is your coordinates. So it's not going to have a clash, even though the name may be the same, because I could be here in the US and you could be in the UK with the same business name. And that's going to have a conflict of interest, quote unquote, but not really, because we're in completely different industries and different NAICS codes, different codes in general, and different locations. So it's not going to clash. You may see them within the same listing if, let's say, it's pointed at different locations as a general list, but when it comes to specificity, your locations are not going to clash. So if somebody is in London or somebody else is in Tel Aviv and they're searching, they may see the other location because the brand name has been searched, but they're going to see the nearest location to them, which is going to be based on their current location. So it's not going to clash, if that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, these are very important questions when it comes to restaurants, because when you have thousands of locations, it's like, okay, how do we get all these locations into one, streamline, and how do we not confuse the algorithm in the same process, because we're submitting to the same algorithm,
The same algorithm, but how you expand your digital footprint is through your server. When you think of a website franchise, a website may have 10 locations, but you should have one server. So when you talk about that digital footprint, it's coming from the same IP address as all 10 sites. So when you talk about creating traffic for 3 different parts of the city, you want to rank in equally across the board. So when you're using one domain, sometimes you're literally fighting 3 keywords versus each domain fighting each keyword. So in those aspects, you could have one site that you're directing the traffic to, and that could be one strategy. But of course, that site itself has to have geolocation recognizing, so that if somebody in this city is getting this service or ordering this thing, that it recognizes their location based on their device. But outside of that, it's being able to have, if it's 100 different sites, it should be under one network, and one network is under one server. But being able to utilize each site to have its own imprint and have its own SEO, and all work in conjunction with the one huge network, that's just mastering your server. Because when you can build SEO on Shopify and Wix and all these other things, but if you have 10 of those things, you're literally having to restart and rebuild individually, and domain authority across each, and all these different things. So even in a server environment, the franchise can have a subdomain, and have 10 subdomains. Atlanta dot.
Yeah.
But if it's under things like a multi-site is not the same as multiple sites, because a multi-site, is considered one site in the eye of Google. So when you understand those things, and you can have 10 or 50 domains that is recognized as one huge domain by Google, it's not the same as having 10, or 20 different installations on different, servers or Shopify's or whatever the case may be, because you have to build each of those authorities and SEO separately. So when you learn the foundation of where your digital infrastructure is built, and you can scale up faster with subdomains, or the simpler strategy is actually what Favor's talking about, using the same domain, but you make sure that you have to geo target people though. Hell, even if somebody doesn't have a location at all. Back in the days, we teach people how to get that postcard in the email. That postcard in a PO box from different sides of the city. So even if they had a digital product or virtual product or service that they were shipping from their house, that they're still ranking in 3 or 4 counties in the city that they live in, because they got the post office, box from 3 different counties to be able to be popped up in Google in multiple sides of the city.
Like that, actually.
But that's the old strategy. If you didn't have, or technically it's still the same if you don't even have a physical location. So
I do have a
but in the
physical
aspect of
location,
having
but
a
I don't
restaurant
necessarily
and
want
things
to
like
put it out
that, you actually have the digital footprint that can follow up behind everything.
there. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I know when you mentioned the locations, Lee, there are 3, and those 3 have different services, or the same service, but within a different, I would say, experience entirely based on the location. Maybe there might be 1 or 2 items on the menu that may have a local experience to it, or touch to it. So I don't know. I'm just speaking out of, hypothetical, assumptions, but I'm sure that there's some very intricate things that will make the uniqueness of the brand and the experience of the restaurants, or anything that you have there, whether it is, within an agency or firm, or anything location based, like you mentioned in London, if it's PI, anything that's going to be located around typing or searching with the intention of getting a result is where we can get the best foot forward. And that's where you can start to see those results. Because when I look at keywords, I don't just look at them as words. I look at them like seeds, just like when we speak. When we use our words have weight. They carry weight. It's how we say things. So when we say these words and we put them into the world, we're saying things that are going to come back to us. So if we say good things, the good things are going to come back to us. If we say the opposite, then the opposite is going to happen. So it's the same way when we put things out on the internet, on the World Wide Web, where people are searching on a constant basis. There are at least 53 billion, if not more, searches a day on the internet, and Google has about 8.5 billion searches. This is across the web, across every top level domain, TLD. So if you are looking at Google search as one entity, and that has at least over 90% market share when it comes to search base, and you're putting yourself within that ecosystem, then you're guaranteeing yourself of a potential organic workflow, which other brands and other websites source from. Wikipedia, whether it's Forbes, or your favorite podcast show, or your favorite blog station, all those platforms are pointing on Google. So if Google is a source and you're sourcing from Google, then you can also have that listing within Google and show up for those results based on the search, based on the volume, and based on the season. So restaurants definitely have a big role to play when it comes to what they're promoting, what you're putting out there. You may not have a blog about food, but your products have to show that you have information that the food that people are searching for has that within the type, I can say the typography of your website outfit. So whether it's within the back end, what you call schema markup, or on the front end, what you call on-page SEO, they have to bridge the gap and they have to match the search. If the search intent is there and you're able to track these things, even better. If you're able to even put heat maps on your website, track page sessions, track activity, that's how you're able to know exactly what's going on, because people go to your website to look for things. Now, do you remember when during COVID, during pandemic, people were not using their hands to touch menus? They would scan with their phones on QR codes that would lead them to menus on
Sure.
websites. So exactly. So so those websites, if you're tracking activity and you know that you're having 100 to 1,000 visitors coming to your restaurant every day, that's about 700 to 7,000 people coming through on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. You're now looking at that number and people who are scanning those codes. If you have a good system behind it, that's data for you to retarget. That's good data for you to remarket. So I'm looking at it from all sides of the curve, every single edge. But at the end of the day, if it's not pointing back to the surface, if it's not coming back to an anchored point, if there's no middle ground, then it's going to be hard to even decide or even decipher or even demystify what's going on, because you're just going to have data but no direction. So it's very important to look at those things. And I'm glad that we've talked about this today in its entirety. I know restaurants is the last thing you guys are going to hear me talk about, but I felt like food was something I wanted to bring up tonight. And I said, let me open this room and see what's going to happen. So I'm glad we were able to have this conversation and put this out here. So thank you for being here. Dami, Bella, Shara, Tracy, Emma, Wild Leo, Dr. Fashion, good to see you always. Dr. JS Lee, thank you for being here with me and all of us here today, and Entre as well. Does anyone want to say anything in the chat? One more thing you want to say before we go? Thank you for the applause. Appreciate you. I see Dami coming up, and I see a question by Xavier I'm going to answer before we go. So we're going to make this quick. Dami, what's good? Thank you for being here. We'd love to hear your question, your comment, your thoughts. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning. Sorry, I joined it, but that was very insightful and very, 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 very educated. So my question is, because I happen to be an artist, and I'm trying to see how this whole SEO thing can work as for me. Then you mentioned something about the whole Google thing, and I was trying to see where I fit in, because you made an example of the restaurant and how your menu can show up on the old Google ad or something. So I want to ask a question about how do I fit into such space, especially as an artist, and how can I put my stuff out there? So I don't know if you get my question.
Yes, I partially get the question. I want to make sure I get it fully. So you're an artist and you want to get your brand, your portfolio out there on the digital landscape?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I have a website.
We'll share with you today. And for you to ask this question, I'm glad you did, and I will share this with you. I partnered with just to give you some context, because I'm also an artist too. I'm a self-taught drummer. I've been in the entertainment industry for a quarter of a century now, and I've seen a lot of things when it comes to entertainment business, entertainment showbiz, entertainment law, and everything in between. And this is something that I want to just give you as a gift, because my birthday is on Friday, so I'm in a gift of giving in every form. Exactly. So I partnered with a nonprofit. This was, I think, last year. They're called Zoo Labs, and I did a course for them, for their students, on SEO for musicians. So I covered that, and I was able to, let people get in, and it's a free course. So I will send you the link. I've followed you back so that I'll send it over to you, and, you can watch it, check it out. And, if you have any questions, you can always, get it from there. But it's something that can help you. And just to give you like an overview of what to expect, or just how, you can navigate the ecosystem within the music field, is when you have a website, it's going to give you a lot of stability, and it's also going to give you a lot of credibility. Like, think about, let's even role play. Who's your favorite artist right now? Or who's just an artist that is always on your playlist?
Davido.
Okay. All right. So if Davido is on your playlist, most times you see Davido on TikTok or Instagram or somewhere where socially you'd be connecting, whether it's on your playlist on Apple or Spotify. Now, Davido has a website, but he doesn't talk about his website. He talks about his social media, because that's where most people frequent. But when you now think about Ticketmaster or go to any other platform when it's time to now sell tickets or sell merchandise, it's his website that people go to most times. If you're on a tour and you're an artist and you're going on tour, you're going to use your website. Perfect example, Kanye West. That's something that you can also think about. So they're using websites, yes, but their websites are the backbone to their success, because when they go online, people find them. And because they also have things like knowledge panels, for example, with Wikipedia, that's an example. You could have that there too. So these are very many things that you can, consider, and you're able to use that as a way to bridge the gap. So using a website is very important, and that's going to give you a lot of credibility. Now, I'm going to put a link in the chat because as I was speaking, I was looking for the link. I put the link in the chat. So learn.zoolabs.org/p/SEO. Dami, that's the link in the chat. That's going to take you to the course that I did with the nonprofit organization, Zoolabs, and it's a free course. You can sign up there and watch what I talked about when it comes to SEO and artists and all the good stuff. If that's not enough, just reach out to me. But it's a lot of information I poured in there. It's a couple of hours you can go through. And of course, the link at the top will take you to where I send out emails and I give you very specific, exclusive ways of how to actually get your content out there. So I've connected with other artists, shout out to, artists like Mastercraft, producers like Mastercraft, Fields, Malik Berry. These are people that I connect with, and I've seen them. I've connected with them, and there are others. I just won't mention all their names, but these are people that I've seen that I've been able to create and see how they've also paved their own way within the music industry because of how they were able to build their branding from a online visibility standpoint. So yours is going to be different from restaurants. But if you're able to use, let's say, restaurants or event centers or halls or concerts or platforms or places that you can perform, and there are restaurants that you're partnering with or they're partnering with as vendors, then that's an indirect way you can actually show up competitively and have a comparative advantage when you're able to now connect with people. So if you have your website, you're able to put it there. Drake, perfect example. Back in the day, back in 2009, 2010, Drake days, it was a website he was using to build that momentum. So anyone that you're seeing online today that is still using a website is because that's what we're in a world of website online activity, and AI now is involved too. So to your question, if you're able to really tap into your website, build it where you're able to have your portfolio. If you have music videos that are on YouTube, bring them to your website. Don't let people watch your YouTube videos on youtube.com. Let them watch them on your website.com, because you're gaining traffic, you're gaining momentum, and that's your first property data acquisition. You're giving YouTube all the views and all the time and all the screen time, when you could divide that screen time and give yourself a portion of that when you create your market share opportunity within your ecosystem. There's a lot to cover. I know it's a mouthful, but just to give you that idea, that wide spectrum macro-wise, you can be able to do this with very incremental steps that can take you to that next level. So I hope this helps you and gives you an insight. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. And Bella, yes, the room definitely has replays, and I also have this on my podcast too, the We Don't Play Podcast.com. Danny, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this before I go to the rest of the comments in the chat.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. But I think you're mistaking my artistry for music, but I'm actually a visual artist. But I still appreciate your insight. I think it's applicable. So I'll just go through what you sent and see how it can work for me. Thank you so much.
Can I mention something at this point that might be useful? If you're a musical artist, obviously your videos are going to be up there. But in your About You, it would be Demi is schooled in the artistry of, say, 5 or 6 other artists, and say how you're connected. Because once you whack them, I believe, on your website, or you've even done a blog, as the comparisons between you and Artist B, then when somebody searches Artist B, boom, Demi's coming up. Or maybe I'm wrong.
No, there definitely there has to be a match and a search matching when you look at the third-party applications connected, whether it's your Spotify, your Apple. These are websites too. You know, your youtube.com. These are websites connected to your source. So everything is definitely interconnected. And when you start having these profile cards, it plays a big role. And if you have an artist name, that artist name is what they're going to use to search. So if your music is on, you know, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you're putting your content out there, people are using the search name to find you, then that's a good way. So when they discover you, when someone discovers you, there's more to discover. They don't just discover you and drop the ball. They discover you and now look for more information about what they've just discovered so they can find more information to discover. So if they don't find anything to discover, they're just going to continue like, okay, that was good while it lasted, but it's not going to have any weight or have any effect after that. So it's building that momentum and creating that consistency overflow as well. Ifeanyi said that he looked at Davido's website and he said it's ass honestly. It's funny that you mentioned that because I went online to see it myself, and most websites, especially for artists, they don't really care for all the aesthetics that most people do. All they want is to click, buy ticket, buy merch, contact, inquiry, management. That's it. But I get what you're saying when it comes to aesthetics. But when I look at functionality, that could be a whole different conversation entirely. And maybe that's the least of his worries. But it's something that is also applicable to think about too. And Dami, you mentioned about artists in visual. I thought you mentioned musical, but you can still use my points and then flip it with a visual element, whether it's, you know, whatever type of visual component you're going into, whether it's 3D or if it's canvas, I don't know, painting, palettes, whatever it looks like, you can definitely still spin that off. But when you're creating content, your content is going to speak for you because you're going to be using your content to give people information about your products based on text, based on image, based on video, based on audio. Whether it's a video that has an audio that has captions auto-generated, wherever it's going to come from, there's going to be a base of interest that's going to fulfill that desire that's being searched with. So it's definitely important to look at those factors as well. And just to make sure that this room, I answer the question that I saw here, it's very important to look at this. Let me see. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I think my thing froze, my Clubhouse froze, but I was looking at the chat. So let me see if I can, hold on one second. If I leave and come back, will this help? Because Clubhouse just did a quick hang on me. Let me see. Interesting. You guys can still hear me, but I can't even come out of the chat.
Hey guys, yep, there we go. Got your handle Favor, you're back.
Oh my God, that is the craziest bug that has ever happened. Wow. Oh, I'm speechless. I couldn't talk. I was like, can you guys hear me? And then I had to call John to, man, Clubhouse. This, I don't know, y'all got to do better. Like, this is 5 years in, but John, thank you for picking up the phone. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. And I couldn't hear Dami. I couldn't hear Lee. I was in the goo. So thank you, John. You're a lifesaver. You're a Clubhouse saver.
I got your back.
Thank you. So I think at this point, that just means we gotta go home, y'all, because that right there was definitely the kicker. But I think we've learned a lot, we've gained a lot, and we've earned a lot of information that we can definitely do this at a large scale if we really decide to do it. So I just want to honor the room by making sure that I answer this question before we go, because I did say I was going to answer the question in case Xavier comes back. Our reach in the sports industry. Any suggestions? So within sports, because I know if you listen to this replay, if you use sports as a way to build your brand and also build engagement, then my best bet for you would be to use platforms that are sports friendly. And one amazing sports friendly quote unquote platform you can use is YouTube, because YouTube is great for, I'll say, YouTube TV, sports, you know, whatever it is that you want to call it. YouTube is great for that. So if you have a YouTube show or a channel, then thank you, Dr. JS. Then you have an extension of sports that people can binge on your platform, whether it's reviews or stories or behind the scenes, red carpet, whatever it is that you want to use it for. That's one angle. And then you can bring that into podcasting, where you can actually bring all your shows and all your episodes into the podcast platform, so that you're not just hosting on youtube.com as one platform or one place, but you can use your podcast distribution system and distribute to across 30, 40 platforms and still link them back to YouTube if they have to go and listen to it there. So it's something that makes a lot of sense, and it hopes for the best when you think about the long-term effect of what you're creating. But if you just know that you want to focus on sports, whatever sport it is, then that's where you're able to now decide on what filter you want to go with. So just wanted to make sure I answer that question before we go. Does someone want to say anything? Does anyone want to say anything before we go? I think we're clear.
Just thank you very much. And what's the easiest way to get into contact with you?
Thank you, Lee. Yes, the best way to contact me is if you just hit on my face, and once you click on it, you're going to see my links. When you click on those links, I have 7 links there, and the first one is going to take you to the website. The second one is going to take you to our discovery call. The third one is going to take you to the podcast show, we don't play podcast.com. The fourth one is going to take you to a wait list. The fifth one to a news feed. The sixth one LinkedIn, and the seventh one Instagram. Any of them that you choose is totally fine, but the quickest way to get conversations going off Clubhouse is to book a call with me, which is the second link. And once you get on the calendar, you'll have an invite on Zoom, and we'll be able to talk about this for 30 to 45 minutes, break down everything that you need. And before you even get on that call, I always like to send you a recording of what I see, so that when we use that call effectively, we're spending time focusing on next steps as opposed to overviewing what we could have done prior to the call. So I always like to make sure I'm very intentional with people's time. So that's the fastest way you can get to me, or you can just go on LinkedIn and connect with me there. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And with that said, I hope you all have a wonderful evening, day, wherever you are in the world. I know it's a global stage, it's a global platform. So thank you again. Friendly, thank you, Bella. Yes, the replays are on, so feel free to be here. And yes, Tracy said build your own house online for sure. Bandy, thank you for being here. Wild Leo, Dr. Fashion, Tracy as always, Dr. JS, Dami, you got to cash in your ticket. At the top, it's the marketing club, Bella 2, so that you can join the marketing club. The marketing club, we have over 352.7K members. So it's a place where we have a lot of great information to share. So this is not the last room. So there'll be more like this. And I look forward to having each and every one of you here as well. Thank you, Dr. Jez, for the applause. I appreciate that. And Lee, thank you for being here. John, thank you for saving the room, because I didn't know what was going to happen.
That's all right. Yeah, Lee, good luck with that. If I'd like to hear more about that, and if there's anything I can do to assist Favor or assist you, and just so we have we're friends, but we have separate businesses, but sometimes we work together. So, anyways,
my number in your message now, and can we have a WhatsApp? Or is it getting a bit late?
Yeah, no. Well, let's go book a call with Favor, and I can work with Favor because he's the owner of this room. So gotta honor the room.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I apologize, Favor. I didn't.
No, you're good. You're good. We work together, but if you want to book a call with him, that's the first step.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I hope this room was helpful. Gave you guys some insight.
Good stuff. Thank you.
You are welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll be back again, definitely, with more rooms like this. And see you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Now, that was an episode, right? Thank you so much for listening to the We Don't Play podcast show. I'm so glad that you're here. and you are sticking tight with us, especially to the very end. Now, this is season 11, and we're going to do it differently. And I want to make sure that every episode you listen to has something to give back so that you can also learn more after you listen. Now, we don't play podcast shows where you listen, you live, you learn, and you earn. So if you're in any of those positions out of those 4, please make sure that you reach out to me. Send out an email through info@playinc.online. That's info@playinc.online. Or you could go to playinc.online, which is a website, www.playinc.online, playinc.online, and schedule a call so that we can get you on an SEO discovery call to talk about your business and help you with your marketing needs. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope this helped you. See you in the next episode. God bless you. Jesus loves you.